Good day, Amherstburg. It's myself, Laura D'Alessandro.
And it's Ron Giofu from the Rivertown Times right here at Amherstburg, back on the airwaves of CKBG 107.9 The Berg for the Rivertown Times Week in Review.
How you holding up, Ron? You've been sick these last few days. You coming around, or you gonna...
Yeah, I think so. I started coming out with a sore throat on last Thursday and covered a couple things. It was kind of cold, and the chill got in my bones, and
at your
blowing my
age.
nose, sneezing, runny nose for the last few days. But today, I think I'm turning the corner.
It's been fun in the office with all that going on.
I thought you'd like that, yeah, with me wandering around blowing my nose. But don't worry, no need to sterilize the studio after we leave. It's I'm doing okay.
Well, at your age, these things, you got to be careful. On the weekend, you had a lot of chili. You were at a lot of chili fests and chili cook-offs and all those kind of things. I know you didn't get to it in the paper. We had a lot of other news, but how many chili cook-offs were you at this weekend, Ron?
I covered 4. I don't know what it was about this past weekend. There was like 4 I know that I covered in Amherstburg or nearby. One at the Amherstburg Food and Fellowship Mission, another one out at the KFC in River Canard, another one at the Masonic Lodge on Murray Street. And there was Chili Fest out at Wolfhead Distillery. So, yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from chili. I still really enjoy chili.
You had your fill.
Yeah, I've had my fill for a bit. I'm going to take a little bit of a break and try some other food.
I would appreciate that, too. Turning our attention now to the paper. We talked about it as a developing story last week on the air. This week, you have more information regarding the city of Windsor putting the town of Amherstburg on notice that they are not looking to renew the police contract at the end of 2028.
Yep, they're opting out. The town is looking at 5 options or so. They're still leaving the door open for discussions with Windsor. They're looking at the possibility of reestablishing Amherstburg Police. They're looking at having discussions with the town of LaSalle. They're looking at getting an OPP costing and even the possibility of a county-wide police service. Lots of stuff on the go. While it seems like a long period of time, not that long, really, when you think about it, all the discussions and all the work that has to go into it. So they're going to hit the ground running, and I know Mayor Michael Prue wants to have something back by the fall, at least with some direction, and they're going to have discussions possibly as soon as next week on it. What he was saying, some of the proponents that the town is looking at working with. But it's needless to say a hot button issue, as it was back in 2018 when the deal with Windsor was first negotiated. And the mayor's saying there's a lot of upset people at Amherstburg, and I bet there are, because it was. Like I said, a lot of people were not happy about 6 years ago, and there was public meetings, and they were quite busy, and the town went ahead, thought at the time that the deal with Windsor was the best one, and they took it, and we've had Windsor Police ever since, but the city has decided that they won't renew the contract, at least the current contract, past 2028. Here we are. So there's going to be discussions with various different partners, various different agencies and municipalities, and we'll see where we go from here. Certainly we're going to stay on top of that. We got a story on page 1 of this week's RTT and on our website, rivertowntimes.com. Pages 1 and 2 have that story on them. So make sure you pick up this week's RTT or view us online.
Thanks for that, Ron. I know it's going to be a developing story, like you said, over the next couple of months and weeks, but you need to take action soon, and I think that council has their work cut out for them when it comes to something like this.
Absolutely. I should point out, I did talk to Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins as well. He's saying there's no acrimony towards the town of Amherstburg. They've enjoyed their relationship with Amherstburg, but it's just a dollars and cents thing for the city. He's open to the idea of renegotiating the contract. And as Mayor Prue said, the town won't be held hostage, however. So it's going to be interesting to see how any discussion goes between Windsor and Amherstburg. But Windsor, for its part, says there's no animosity, but the town is going to explore their options.
Maybe we'll see a county-wide police force.
Could be. You never know. It's on the table.
That's crazy. Monday night was council, as Ron mentioned. He was at council on Monday night. One of the topics that was on the agenda is the upcoming fishing season and what that means for fishermen down in the Navy Yard Park.
Yeah, it's mainly to do with the silver bass season. As many of us know, that Navy Yard Park does tend to get a bit chaotic.
Easy for you to say.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe I'm not quite as healthy
Maybe that
as I
cold
thought I
is
was.
lingering a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah, so they're going to be looking at various different ways to mitigate the problems down there. They've had issues with fish guts and sinks and leaving all over the lawns and garbage cans and filling hooks left in the grass and fishing line left in the grass with garbage all over the place. And they're going to look at possibly expanding the fishing area towards the Gordon House and giving people a little bit more room to go. having a public education campaign. Say, hey, you know what? Leave our park as clean as you can, and please don't leave your fish guts and your litter everywhere. There was an idea of a fee that was floated by administration of charging out-of-town folks $10 to get into the fenced area. Obviously, town folk, if they show ID and prove they are from Amherstburg, they wouldn't have to pay the fee, but council opted against that for this year at least. There wasn't really a whole lot of interest, at least with most folks. I know Deputy Mayor Chris Gibb seemed to like that idea, but not a lot of his colleagues did. And so they're not going to have a $10 fee to get in right now, but they are going to monitor it as best they can, enforce as best they can, educate as best they can in an expanded fishing area in Kings Navy Yard Park. And this is, again, primarily during the silver bass season. It's 6 to 8 weeks, I believe they pointed out on Monday night. So it's not like a year-long thing. It's just a short-term period of time. But, expect to see some fencing up in Navy Yard Park when silver bass fishing season gets underway.
I really hope we can keep it together. When you were talking, that reminded me of what we talked about last year with the garbage and what people were facing out on the Creek Road. You know, people fishing down there and not cleaning up after themselves. I just implore people, please just be respectful, responsible. We want to use these things and have a good time, so let's just take care of it. Pick up after yourself.
Absolutely. They're public assets, and the entire public uses them. So, yeah, like you said, Laura, folks just need to, be mindful of others.
That's right. News coming out of County Council. There is a call to action on how the municipalities conduct business and specifically where they spend their money. And this is in relation to the threat of the U.S. tariffs. They're looking to develop a Buy Canada approach. And this story was on page 5 by our freelancer, Fred Groves. It's something that they're going to try to expand on, educate people about. I think we've all seen in the last couple of weeks, I know in my grocery stores, you can see the Buy Canada or Made in Canada little things up, and they're really imploring people, facing what might be coming in the next couple of weeks to buy Canadian and what that means for everybody. Also coming out of County Council was that they have reversed course on a motion that they had made back in December to invest in Windsor-Essex. In December, they had decided to decrease the funding to the non-for-profit economic development program. But after much consideration and debate, they reversed that motion last week, and they're going to go ahead with the original proposed amount of just over $1.1 million going to invest in Windsor-Essex. Both Mayor Michael Prue and Deputy Mayor Chris Gibb voted in favor of the new motion. So all that's on page 5, and that was covered by our freelancer, Fred Groves. Turning back to the front page of the paper, coldest night of the year was held at the House Youth Center. Over 140 walkers took part in this annual event. I know you were one of the walkers, and we were one of the media that were out covering it, along with the radio station here. How would you say the event went, Ron?
I thought it went well. Good crowd. The money was up. The number of walkers was up. All goes to the House Youth Center here in Amherstburg. They're located out of the Amherstburg Community Hub at 320 Richmond, and that's where the walk started and ended. So they went back to Shooters. Shooters was the title sponsor this year. They went back there and for the after party, but I consider myself one of the smart ones. I drove part of the road, so I wasn't an official walker. So I didn't sign up as a walker. So
a slacker. You signed up as a slacker.
Pretty much, yeah. So I drove around for a bit and caught up with the walkers.
You just take pictures from your car as you drove by?
No, I got out of the car.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, good.
Give me credit for something. So I went and did that, and so I just went around, got the pictures, got the story, and they're about, I think last I checked, about 74% of their way to their goal.
Wow.
Even though the walk was last Saturday night, there is still plenty of time to donate. You've heard me say this website before on the air. It's www.cnoy.org/Amherstburg. You can donate up to March 31st. And then they're trying to get to 50,000. And so again, it's www.cnoy.org/Amherstburg to donate. And again, you can do so through March 31st.
So Saturday night you were walking/driving, the coldest night of the year. But Friday night you went to Chicago.
Yeah, I took a quick trip to Chicago.
By way of Villanova?
Exactly, yeah. Chicago was nice. They met me halfway. I got to stop off at Villanova, but actually it was the play Chicago. Chicago Teen Edition is being presented by staff and students at Villanova. About 70 to 75 of them are taking part. I caught opening night last Friday night. I must admit, I had a good time. I won't be known as Mr. Culture. I don't go to the theater a ton, but I do enjoy the work of the Villanova students and their staff and the staff members that help out. led by Mary Jo Grado, the director, and all the crew and the staff and all the actors and singers and dancers and everybody involved. It was a 2-hour show. It started last weekend, and if you missed it, don't worry, it runs again this weekend, or should I say Thursday through Saturday out at Villanova, and it's at 7 o'clock each night. I believe all tickets are $10 on Thursday night, and it's like $15 for adults and seniors, I believe. Adults and students. Anyways, the full breakdown's in the paper on page 3. I don't want to misstate any of the pricing, but...
You'd know the senior cost, though. But bump.
Yes.
I just can't. You're not even feeling good, and I just won't stop. I'm sorry, Ron.
But anyways, there's again, Thursday through Saturday back at Villanova, 7 o'clock each night. So make sure you check it out. They had a good crowd opening night, and I know a lot of people from town went out and checked it out on the weekend. And again, it continues for 3 more performances, the 27th, the 28th, and March 1st.
Well, I hope everybody can get out to that. Admirals are in full playoff action now. They kicked off the best-of-7 series against the Wheatley Sharks with a big win in Wheatley in Game 1, but fell short in OT here at home on Saturday. They were back on the road to Wheatley on Sunday and picked up a win there. Game 4 went last night, happened here at the Libro, but they couldn't pull off the W for Game 4.
Now we got the story of the first 3 games in this week's paper on page 11. But press deadlines go, we couldn't get Game 4 into the paper. And but as you said, Laura, they faced off at the Libro Center last night, and it was Wheatley pulling off a 6-4 win to tie the series at 2. The Sharks did build up a 3-0 lead, and they had a 4-2 lead at one point, and the Admirals clawed back, got back in the game, and actually tied it at 4. A couple of late third-period goals by Wheatley gave them the 6-4 win. I know Brett Jones had a couple goals last night for the Admirals. Former Admiral Owen Popolka's got a couple for the Sharks. And Game 5 goes tonight, Wednesday night, out in Wheatley.
I was there on Saturday night with my son, and I don't think I've ever heard the Libro so loud as when overtime kicked off. That place was vibrating. It was really cool to see, and it seems like you said this morning that the opposing team seems to be winning on visitor ice. So maybe tonight we'll get a win. Exactly,
yeah. The road teams win every game in this series, and the Admirals look to keep that trend going tonight. But to end it on Saturday, as Game 6 will come back here to the Libro Center. If necessary, Game 7 will go Sunday in Wheatley. But the Admirals will look to win the next couple games, and starting tonight in Wheatley. And good luck, Admirals, and as they look to advance in the Stobbs Division playoffs.
Yeah, go Admirals. North Star, not too much in the way of sports there. The girls' hockey, though, it's over for the season, but boy, did they go out fighting with a heart-breaking 4 overtime loss to Essex. That was hard to see, I'm sure.
Yeah, but quadruple overtime. I should point out the overtimes are 5 minutes each, so it's not like a full 20-minute period you see in the NHL or anything, but still.
It's still 5 minutes.
It still went to 4 overtimes last Thursday afternoon, and Essex got a goal about a minute into the 4th overtime to win 2-1. Definitely a heartbreaker for the Wolves. They had high hopes this year, and they were dashed by 1 shot from the Red Raiders. And Essex ended up winning the game 2-1. Well, the Red Raiders actually would go on to win the WEXA AA title, as they defeated LeSource yesterday in Tecumseh. They won 1-0, and so the Red Raiders are the WEXA AA champs. Give a plug out to Essex High School, I guess. They won the boys as well.
Wow.
Our North Star Wolves got knocked out by Bell River last week, and Essex ended up beating Bell River in the finals also yesterday. So it's a big time of year for the Essex Red Raiders. Unfortunately, not so much for the North Star Wolves on the ice.
Turning our attention to this weekend for sports, we want to give a plug out here to the U15 select hockey team that the Rivertown Times sponsored. We're heading off to Buffalo. We'll be leaving tomorrow. The boys are playing in 4 games down there in a tournament. I was just telling Terrence in the studio, they're calling for 3 inches of snow in Buffalo, and the tournament's outside. So as much as we wish the players well, wish myself and the other parents warmth and the stamina to stick that out. So I'll report back next week on how the Rivertown Times U15 select boys did.
Well, I've been battling a sore throat, runny nose, and a bit of coughing, so hopefully that doesn't...
I'm doomed.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't lead to you getting it. Watching some outdoor action in Buffalo.
Yeah, right. Also this weekend going on, it's The Price of Freedom. We've been plugging it all along. It's finally going to happen. It opens on February 28th and runs March 1st and 2nd. There's an ad on page 2. So it's The Price of Freedom, the act in collaboration with the Freedom Museum. All the details are listed there on page 2. The Never-Ending Quest for Inclusion by the Artists of Color at the Freedom Museum. That will be wrapping up this weekend. If you're looking for more information on that, visit the Freedom Museum website at amherstburgfreedom.org. We're happy to report the Hope of St. Joseph. They were doing a pasta dinner on Saturday. We got word last night that it is sold out.
Yes, that was good to see. We got our co-op student, Noah Paquette, who's in the studio with us. He helped us out. We got one of his ads in the paper last week, and that plus our community events column helped get the event sold out. So if you're looking for a ticket for Sunday night's event, that's the bit of bad news. Is there are no more events sold out, and all money goes to the Hope of St. Joseph Shelter, which helps Father Donato and 3 shelters he's operating in the DR Congo out in Africa. And he's having a bit of a rough go, but he's getting some help thanks to some loyal volunteers here in Amherstburg.
Well, it appears that Noah has the Midas touch when it comes to ads. Maybe the phone will be ringing off the wall when we get back to the office. No, everybody will want you to do their ad.
Yeah, maybe.
He's the golden goose, that one. People could still donate to the Hope of St. Joseph, though, right? Maybe you can't go to the fundraiser, but you could still offer some financial support in other ways.
Absolutely. www.hopeislife.ca. That's www.hopeislife.ca. That's how you can donate online. They're always looking for donations. If you want to sponsor a child or just help out in some way, I'm sure they'd be happy to hear from you.
Was there anything else, Ron?
No, that's pretty much it. I want to give a birthday shout out to a colleague, business partner, friend, Dominic D'Alessandro. You might know the guy.
Never heard of him.
No, okay. Well, happy birthday to Dominic, and I won't say how old he is, but he's younger.
41. He's 41.
He's younger than his wife.
Oh, that's rude. But called for. Yes, happy birthday, Dominic. My gift to you is I'm leaving for Buffalo, so enjoy your birthday.
Yeah, that's probably the best gift you can give him, I would guess. But
I'll be around for yours, so don't you worry.
I'm looking forward to that already.
All right, let's wrap this up for the day. Have a good day, Amherstburg. Stay warm, stay dry. Who knows what Mother has in store for us these next couple of days, but be safe out there and have a great day.
Have a great day. Have a great week. We're back on the airwaves next Wednesday at 12 noon at 4:30 p.m. Look for the papers around the community. Thanks to our drivers, Ken and Louise, or check us out online at rivertowntimes.com. Have a great day. Take care.